guys, thanks for checking out the channel today. Today we're going to be talking about the winter months and sort of some winter projects here in Canada and what I'm going to be doing for the next few months as far as content on the channel. So remember, please like and subscribe, let your friends know that the channel exists, hit that bell to make sure that you get notified when I put up new videos, and please check me out on Instagram at Wrench Rampage. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about winter projects. So just sort of an update on the direction that the channel is going to take for the next 4 months or 5 months. I live in Canada and we have winter coming up here. It's late October and we haven't had snow yet, but it's going to be coming soon. And so here in Canada, most car guys use that time to either buy parts or work on their cars. And so probably a little bit less driving around content, probably a little bit more wrenching content. So the two vehicles that I'm going to be working on this winter, so there'll be other content on the channel, but the two vehicles for sure are going to be my GTR, R32 GTR, and not here, but this is a parts car, will be my Evo 6. I need to put an engine in my Evo 6, and I've decided to rather than building another engine, I have a friend of mine who needs a good shell that hasn't been in a bunch of collisions, and so the shell is going to be going to him. And I'm going to use a bunch of the parts off here, including the engine and transmission, to get the Evo 6 rolling around again, because it's better to have something running and driving and moving around than having it endlessly sit and working on it over years. It is far better to have a running driving project than a project that just sits there and collects dust. I find that myself, I lose interest if it's just sitting in the corner of my shop. And yeah, I'd rather be driving it around, and even if it's in near stock form, and then I can just add to it. So this will give me the opportunity with the Evo 6 to maybe build an engine for it while I can drive it around and prototype some other parts for it. Devin, my friend with the black E85 Evo, we need to put together a fuel system for him, so I think I may do one for the Evo 6 as well. And we'll be wanting that to cover 1,000 horsepower, 800 to 1,000 horsepower, and so that's what we'll be working on, just initially on the Evo 6, a fuel system, and then go from there. As far as the Skyline, the body needs some work. It's running and driving, but I definitely need to work on the body. I have 2 new quarters to put on. I'm going to do some paint, and it needs a bit of maintenance, not much because I just built the engine, but clutch is going to be going in, wider front fenders, and some body mods. We'll see what I pick up over the winter here. And yeah, so maybe let's take a look at some of the parts that I have hiding out in my parts area. Hey guys, so in my storage area I have a ton of parts. This is not a big area, but I jam a lot into a small area, so here we are. So some of the Skyline stuff that'll be going on. So one will be an OS Geiken clutch for the Skyline. So the Skyline right now has a clutch that's probably good for 800 to 1,000 horsepower, and the drivability is not great on that clutch. It's also an OS Geiken. I went and got a twin plate that's probably good for about 600 horsepower, and I just want it to be a little bit more livable. The clutch right now, it drives okay, but does shudder quite a bit. And that car is a street car, and that's kind of how I want it to be. So I want it to be drivable while still putting down, 500 horsepower on there. So that clutch needs to go. So as well for the Skyline, there's a few other things that are kicking around up here. I have some fenders here. These are plus 10 millimeter fenders. They're either plus 10 or plus 20. I actually can't recall now, but those are going to go on the Skyline. They're stock profile, no crazy vents or anything like that, but those wheels are 18 by 10 and a half, so you're going to have to use those. Just give a bit more room. Nothing's rubbing, but it's very close. Also, I was going to put on some rear spats that I have. These will require a little bit of body work, but they were super cheap. And so I'd like to put these on the rear. They're not an N1. They're kind of an N1 style, I guess, but they're meant to kind of go over top of the bodywork with some adhesive strips on the back. So fiberglass units there. I'll be painting them. In addition, I have a Cusco cage that I'd like to put in there. Now, as far as the cages are concerned, some of you probably aren't going to be a fan of it, like the Cusco and the Safety 21 stuff. It doesn't really, well, not even it doesn't really. It doesn't pass tech in North America here for any sort of motorsport stuff. But again, this is a street car. I'm really just looking for a look. And again, if you have followed my thoughts about the GTR that I'm building here, I'm looking for a sort of a period correct style with some modern components, but way back in the 90s, that's what was run in Japan, is those bolt-in cages. So that's kind of the reason I'm doing it. It's more of a style choice. So yeah, not a motorsports thing, more of a style choice. So a few other items in storage. I have a brand new seat base for the R32 GTR. One of my seats has a stain on it, so I saw this come up. It's not like these are, well, for sure they don't pop up very often. So this is a brand new OEM seat base for the R32 GTR seats. Yeah, what else do I have kicking around here? I've got some, well, I have a new front vent for the grill. I also have a little bit of a carbon valance for where the tow hook and the exhaust comes through. It's just a dress-up piece. I think the carbon on top of the black will look good. Pair of better R32 GTR headlights sitting there. And some sort of maintenance stuff, a little bit of a few plastic pieces for the interior. The cable for the gas door, which is malfunctioning a little bit. Yeah, so I also do have 2 full quarters and all the weather stripping for the R32 GTR. And that'll help me get the car together as far as body work and get the paint done. So that's something that's going to be coming up here. Now, as far as the Evo 6, I have just a ton of parts up here. It's hard to see up here because it's so dark, but yeah, you know what? The Evo 6 stuff, I'll kind of let you in on a bit of it as I go, because a lot of it was already on the car. A lot of the Monster Sport bolt-on items, most of that stuff's going to be going back on there. It's kind of a more of a bolt-on type car with some expensive, like, period correct parts. But yeah, I'll be going back down that direction. And other than that, this winter, I'll be doing some driveline stuff, rebuilding a few rear ends for people, some transfer cases. I may put some of that on the channel if there's any interest. And yeah, so lots of parts. This place is a horrific mess, but that's how it goes when you're a car nut. This is the kind of stuff you accumulate. So anyway, thanks for checking out the channel today, and make sure that you subscribe, like, and follow the content. Make sure you hit the bell so that you get notified when I put up different videos. And as well, check me out on Instagram at Wrench Rampage. And yeah, so should be an enjoyable winter. I'm going to try and get out here as much as possible and post up some content for you guys. Thanks, and have a good night.